Hello learners, welcome back to the course on learning and development in organization. We move to a new module where we're looking into the advances in technology that is enabling the learning and development. So over the past few modules, we have categorically summarized on what essentially learning and development is and how we can actually enhance it. We have looked into different parameters. Today we start with a new aspect, the aspect of technology, how technological advancement are vital and creating a major shift in terms of learning and development within organization. I am Dr. Cyril. I am an assistant professor at the School of Business, Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. Now, when you look into learning and development and per se the technological advancement in the field, we'll start with today's theme that the technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. So many a time we see that what will be the end game or the end result of all these technological advancements? Will it actually remove something called as teaching learning process? Rest assured, what we truly understand today is that technology can be instrumental, especially in the hands of great teachers, and that can be transformational in nature. So let's start with today's discussion. Let's understand what are the possible learning interventions that are essential. We look into what is happening with respect to the traditional methods, what is happening presently in the industry, and we'll also look into the future of learning and development, especially in the background of technology. So targeted solutions to address the performance gaps, skill deficits or knowledge needs have been there in organization. If you look into your organization, if you're working, if you are a student, look into your institution, there has been, stringent efforts in actually cultivating the habit, the growth mindset, the learning and development mindset. But that is done essentially through addressing the performance gaps or what are the skill deficits. We looked into the need analysis part in the last session. We looked into how we can actually come up with such assessments and how it actually provides greater results. So all these aspects typically are part of learning interventions, and this is where we see what is happening now and what will be there in the future. So let's understand this more clearly. When you look into the learning interventions part, typically you will see that they represent targeted activities designed to address specific performance skill gaps, skill deficiencies or knowledge requirements. So traditional methods, if you ask me, like traditional interventions include classroom, training, workshops, mentoring programs and on-the-job training, etc. So technology has not replaced these approaches, but I would categorically say that it has fundamentally transformed how we design, how we deliver and how we measure their effectiveness. So modern technology, enhanced interventions, leverage digital tools to create more targeted, more scalable and measurable learning experiences. So these interventions can be deployed rapidly, customized for individual needs and continuously optimized based on real-time data and feedback. So the key distinction lies in their ability to provide personalized experiences at scale while maintaining the human elements that make learning engaging and meaningful. Now, when you talk about specifically the technology intervention, we have to see, how it has changed from the traditional methods to the technology-driven initiative, like the shift from the traditional to technology-driven learning environments. Traditional learning methods were centered around the face-to-face classrooms, the static textbooks and fixed schedules. They are increasingly, if you look into the entire intervention mechanisms within learning and development in a more critical fashion, you'll see they are increasingly inadequate for meeting the diverse needs of modern learners. So technology-driven learning environments offer significant advantages, and I would like to list it down from the first one, accessibility and inclusion. Digital platforms allow learners from all backgrounds, all walks of life and all locations to access high quality education at any time, breaking down geographical and physical barriers. So whatever be the geographical and physical barriers, it does not affect the accessibility and inclusivity. The second important shift from traditional to technology-driven learning environment has happened in terms of personalization. AI and data analytics enable tailored learning experiences that adapt to individual learning styles, individual learning paces and needs, so making education more effective and engaging. So we have categorically listed down a lot of such AI tools in the AI in HRM class in the same NPTEL platform. So we have to understand the relevance of personalization. It has increased the ability of learning and development to be a change maker within the organization. The third important aspect that we have to consider when we discuss the shift from traditional to technology-driven learning environments will inevitably be interactivity and engagement. You can look into any of the critical aspects, be it some of the multimedia tools, or let's say simulations, or maybe gamification, which we have discussed in detail in the previous module, or let's say VR, virtual reality, creating dynamic hands-on learning experiences that improve the retention and motivation. So interactivity and specifically engagement is vital. The fourth aspect we have to consider while we discuss the shift from traditional to technology-driven learning environments will be collaboration. You look into any of the aspects like online forums or collaborative documents. Many a time we work in collaborative documents these days, or video conferencing tools that facilitate teamwork and knowledge sharing among learners regardless of their location, regardless of what they are and where they are sitting, at what time interval or time zone they are focused on or they are from. So these are some of the typical aspects. The fifth point I would consider when I'm discussing the shift from traditional to technology-driven learning environment is definitely flexibility. Technology allows learners to study at their own pace and on their own schedules. There's no doubt about it. So this typically accommodates different lifestyles, different learning preferences. The sixth aspect that we have to look into when we discuss the shift from traditional to technology-driven learning environments will be continuous learning opportunities. Continuous learning opportunities, there's hardly anything to say to you guys, especially a set of audience who actually have taken this course as part of their continuous learning ability and the need. So digital platforms and online resources make it possible for individuals to continuously acquire new skills throughout their careers, supporting lifelong learning and professional growth. So these are some of the critical aspects that comes up when we are looking into the shift from traditional to technology-driven learning environments. Let's quickly look into the emerging technologies that will change learning and development. Very quickly, we'll try to detail it in further discussions. So when we look into the emerging technologies, we have to acknowledge and appreciate the advent of artificial general intelligence, AGI, and generative AI for that matter. We have to look into the quantum computing. We have to look into the Neuralink and brain-computer interfaces, what we understand as BCI. We also have to discuss about the blockchain for learning credentials, and we'll also spend some time on the 3D printing and rapid prototyping. So let's delve into this in a more detailed fashion. When we look into the first aspect, that is artificial general intelligence, AGI, and generative AI. AGI and generative AI are at the forefront of reshaping L&D. There is no doubt about it. Artificial general intelligence, which is still in development, refers to AI systems that are capable of understanding, learning, and applying knowledge across various domains, much like the human beings. So once realized, I would say that AGI could revolutionize adaptive learning, offering hyper-personalized learning experiences that evolve with each user's needs and preferences. So generative AI, which already impacts most of us by creating training content, simulations and interactive learning scenarios. So this particular technology allows the learning and development teams to automate the content creation, scale the personalized learning, and offer dynamic role-playing exercises or experiences. For instance, generative AI tools like, let's say, the common one, ChatGPT, it can simulate conversations for sales or customer service training, providing the real-time feedback and scenario-based learning. So this is what the AGI and generative AI is revolutionizing the learning space within and outside the organization. When we look into the quantum computing, please do understand that quantum computing, though still in its infancy, promises to revolutionize the data analysis and decision making in L&D. So if you look into the quantum computers, they process information at speeds previously unimaginable, which could enable the learning and development teams to analyze massive data sets more efficiently. So this technology, if you ask me, could track learner performance, predict future skill gaps, and optimize the learning pathways based on real-time data insights. So it incorporates quantum-powered algorithms into all the learning and development systems, which may lead to highly adaptive, data-driven learning environments. So these systems, if you ask me, could tailor learning experiences based on learner behaviors, providing real-time adjustments to course material and pacing to ensure better knowledge retention and engagement. If you look into the third aspect, which is emerging in a very promising way, is the Neuralink and the brain-computer interfaces, BCI. Neuralink and other brain-computer interfaces, BCI, could radically change the way employees learn. BCIs connect the brain directly to computers, enabling individuals to control devices or receive information through neural signals. So while the current focus of BCI is primarily medical, their application in L&D could be revolutionary. So this is where the scope of Neuralink and this BCI has immense potential, especially in the field of learning and development. So imagine a future where employees can accelerate learning by downloading knowledge directly to their brains. So this can bypass the traditional learning methods. So BCIs could also be used to monitor real-time cognitive states, allowing L&D systems to adapt based on learner engagement, focus, and comprehension, creating truly personalized and immersive learning environment or learning experiences. Now let's look into the fourth aspect which could come up and which is already there, taking its rightful place, blockchain for learning credentials. When you talk about the blockchain technology, it offers a secure and transparent way to manage the learning credentials and certification. So using blockchain, the learning and development teams can create tamper-proof digital records of employee achievements, ensuring that certifications are verifiable and transferable across organizations. So this can be especially useful in industries with strict compliance requirements, as it follows companies to verify employees' skills and qualifications instantly. So if you look into the blockchain specifically, it could enable the creation of decentralized learning platforms where learners earn micro credentials as they complete the module. So building a lifelong learning portfolio that allows them to follow across their career. So this is what the success of blockchain for learning credentials would be. Now when you look into the technology and the advent of that into learning and development, you have to also look into the 3D printing and rapid prototyping, how it is emerging as one of the key functional areas, specifically enabling the learning and development in the organization. So 3D printing makes waves in sectors that rely on hands-on skills development, be it engineering, be it manufacturing, be it healthcare. So for learning and development, 3D printing can be integrated into the training programs, allowing employees to prototype and test ideas rapidly in real time. So this hands-on experience helps learners grasp complex concepts and improve their problem-solving abilities and skills. Let's take an example here. Employees in a product development role, they could use the 3D printing to create prototypes such as part of a collaborative, iterative learning process, combining technical training with practical application. So these emerging technologies, if you ask me, they promise to transform how employees learn and grow in the workplace. By embracing these typical improvements and innovations, the learning and development professionals, they can create more engaging, more personalized and impactful learning experiences that align with the needs of a modern workforce. As these technologies continue to mature, the future of L&D will likely to be defined by the convergence of AI, immersive learning and data-driven personalization. Now let's look into the human-AI collaboration. What is in store? While AI will handle tasks like content curation or let's say the progress tracking and performance analytics, human learning and development professionals will play a vital role in shaping learning culture and strategy. So their focus will shift to areas where human judgment is irreplaceable, fostering creativity, fostering empathy and ethical decision making. So L&D leaders will ensure that training programs reflect organizational values, promote diversity and inclusion and adapt to changing business needs. So this partnership between humans and AI will create more meaningful, context-aware learning experiences, with AI providing data-driven insights and humans ensuring alignment with broader organizational goals. So typically, if you ask me, we look into the technological advances. We see that learning and development is not static. We have established that learning and development process is dynamic, is agile, and what adds to the agility, what adds to the dynamic nature of learning and development is typically the technology. So some of the aspects which we have discussed categorically improves the effectiveness of learning and development strategies across the organization. All the programs which are being devised by the L&D vertical are typically enhanced by these technology. Again, this is not an exhaustive list. Things are improving, things are evolving. But what is there in the industry and what I feel that 5 years down the line would be the key indicators, that is what I have listed. Please look into it. Ladies and gentlemen, please note, our motto is to enhance the learning and development mindset within the organization. So all these aspects, be it blockchain, be it any type of prototyping, be it 3D printing, all these technologies essentially enhance. You look into any individual who is using generative AI for that matter, they are looking into enhancing the learning experiences, and all this technology unequivocally, I can say that they are enhancing the quality of learning within an organization. Thank you for listening to me patiently. We'll come up with more details of learning and development in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.